It'll be nice working with proper villains again. But first,
Five God on the beat.
welcome to the Deep Focus podcast. Your eyes are not crazy. I got my phone set up again. The tripod's good to go. For those who don't know, I never share this on air, but I had a little accent. Me and myself, meaning my dog, stepped onto our tripod, snapped a leg. There was no balance. It was a complete accident. We ended up ordering a new one pretty quickly, but I've just been too lazy to set it up
I,
again.
I can't
And
believe you just threw Apollo under the bus like that.
it
Come
was, it
on,
was a
at,
total,
at
honestly,
least at least take the blame.
no, it's definitely part my responsibility because I folded it up and put it on the ground, and
Yeah,
it's you know what I should have expected that.
yeah.
And after our last week's debacle, when it comes to our video and audio quality, at least on my end, I'm like, Vern, what the fuck are you doing? The people don't deserve this. It was really bad, especially for a Fast and the Furious review podcast. I was so disappointed how that turned out. So I do apologize to everyone. But we're
Mhm.
back. We're here. I'm excited for another episode, another week of fun content and stuff to talk about. As always, I'm your co-host Varun. I'm my boy Murad, who's growing his hair back slowly. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I know you haven't felt my hair or lack thereof, but it's so soft right now. It's kind of like touching carpet. Giggity. Not in that way, but it is what it is. No, I'm good. I finally watched Fast and Furious 9 or F9 as the kids are saying, and it's a bunch of bullshit, but I loved it so much.
Oh, it's
But
fucking
yeah,
great, man.
yeah, I
It's
went
fucking
back and
great.
I went back and I listened to your review of it, and
Yeah.
everything that you were talking about, I was like, okay, I get it. I did like, I didn't like how they brought Mia into it. Also, a spoiler alert, I guess. I don't know.
Me using the
But
trailer.
oh yeah, okay, so
Oh
we're good.
no, no. So I brought that theory up, and that's why I said that the spoiler part at the end, like I don't know, it's bringing Mia back. It just I get why they did it
Yeah,
because technically, like it's her brother too, right?
yeah,
Guys, this is in the trailer. This is not a spoiler.
yeah.
Everything's in the trailer, and so I get why they did it. I just don't like that they did. I like it's the Fast franchise, right? This is one of those things where if she wasn't around, no one would have noticed.
I
I
don't know,
just
man.
think
He always
I
talks about
I
family.
it is, but like it's one of those things where it felt like an achievement award to give her a job in the
Mm,
F9. That's what it felt like. Like
yeah,
she hasn't had a big role since I'll say number one,
yeah,
number four, and number five are her only movies that she had any sort of significance. So the first one because Brian uses her to get into to gang again.
yeah.
Number four, they reunite.
And she's pregnant.
That's number five. Number five,
Is
she's
that
pregnant.
five? Oh no,
That's
she's
why.
pregnant. My bad.
That's why five I brought up because five she's pregnant,
Right, she's
but it's
pregnant.
really her only importance in that movie. Like she's
Yeah,
pregnant, and that's her story. Peace. We called it right. Like that's it.
yeah.
Um, speaking of uh female actors that who are not talented, Megan Fox has hit the news.
Wait,
Like my little bad segue.
what a segue. I mean, I don't know. There was
Uh,
so many off ramps, and he just broke right through the fucking barrier.
I
She's
have to get this off my
talented.
chest.
She's
I have to.
talented.
Who is
Mia,
as what?
more talented than Megan Fox. Come on.
That's not saying much.
I know, but if you're
That
saying
is
that,
not saying much.
but she's
I
not
would
in the
watch. I
same
rather
realm as Megan
no. She's no,
Fox.
no, man. They're terrible,
You think she's
right?
in the same realm
Megan,
as
if
Megan
anything,
Fox?
Megan Fox does get the upper hand. It does help that she's white, but it does. But she's been in blockbuster movies, right? Like
Sure.
let's give her that much. For whatever reason you think she got the job, that aside, she's been in the she was in this
Yeah.
movie.
She's fine
Megan
in Jennifer's
Fox,
body.
Megan Fox came out last week in an interview that I didn't bother reading into the interview. I just read the headline because I don't care about Megan Fox. Besides that, she would like to be in a role where she's part of either the DC cinematic universe or the Marvel cinematic universe. You know what I would like Megan Fox for you to have some fucking talent because everyone, of course, you would like to be in that. You haven't done anything. You've been in Transformers as a half-naked girl who supposedly has Moran takes his headphones off. For those who are not watching, takes his headphones off. But like, come on, it's ridiculous. Of course, you want to be in that. I want to be a part of the MCU. I don't give a fuck about the acting. I just want to get my fat ass in shape. Right? Like that's it. Put me in the Marvel workout. Like I'm down with that. But like, what are you? Of course you. Why do you say this? What are we? Like, I don't get these actors and actresses who saying things like Vin Diesel 2 weeks of talking about have his own spin-off movie. I'm like, motherfucker, you're the main character, right? How could you have your own spin-off movie? It makes no fucking sense. And then Megan Fox comes out, oh yeah, I'd love to be in the MCU or the DC universe. Well, fuck, of course you would. Why wouldn't you? You useless shit. Like, what the fuck? Would I watch her? Sure. It is what it is. We all know why she's getting hired. I'm not gonna say it out loud. She has some talent. Cool. But like, name a good project she's been in.
I don't know. I don't really like the Transformer. She was okay in Jennifer's Body. Also, like,
but
what the fuck did Megan Fox do to you, buddy? Holy shit!
But like,
I've never seen you this riled up. Come on.
But anyone could be in those roles. Like literally, anyone could be in those roles.
Anyone would want to be in those roles.
Oh, yeah, and anyone could be in those roles. Like really. Like they replaced her. They replaced her pretty easily in the Transformers franchise, and no one's like didn't skip a beat. She was replaced in the Transformers franchise. Did anybody care? No. They care, but there's just a small drama between her and Michael Bay, and that's it. She's replaceable. Like she's like, I don't know, man. It's a joke. It really is. Like I'm glad she had a little TV run and the New Girl, right? Like. It was a fun moment towards the end, but like she was only in that because Zoe Deschanel, I can't pronounce her name.
Deschanel.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I can't speak. Yeah, only because she got pregnant in real life and she had to leave the show, so they had to bring someone in temporarily. And Megan Fox was that sort of band-aid to sort of resolve the issue. Like that's
I didn't know that.
As always, guys, you can listen to us on all audio podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and of course, we're on YouTube. We are on social media at the Deep Focus Pod, on Instagram, Twitter. You find us everywhere, guys. Sorry, guys. I had to let the Megan Fox stuff out of the way. My segue is it's completely off.
Not only was your segue from Jordana Brewster to Megan Fox so abrupt, but out of nowhere you went from she's a Band-Aid solution and New Girl, but fuck Megan Fox. Also, you can find us. Where are these pathways connecting in your brain? I don't understand.
I had a lot of coffee today. You know what? I've been I've just been doing a lot of stuff today. And I'll cut the grass today. And I took my wife who got her second vaccine today. So she's all vaccinated up. I'm pretty sure she'll be pretty messed up by the time I'm done this. So I gotta make sure I gotta take care of her afterwards. And she always does for me when I'm crying a little bitch.
What a good husband.
It's fear, man. She trained me well. she trained me.
Oh, Rupi, I'm gonna need lessons on how to train Varun. To be nice.
You need to instill fear, which, my friend, you do not scare anyone.
Do I not instill, like, am I not like a scary dude?
No, not at all. Not even close.
Okay.
Like you're 5 foot. Like you're what? 5 what?
Well, don't bring my height into this.
No. I'm not gonna. I almost said 5 foot nothing. But you're not that. You're not that. Are you still single? You're chilling. But speaking of,
why do you want to put me in this bubble right now? Don't ask me these questions. You know what's going on.
We should have a Spill the Tea podcast. It's like talk about all your shit.
I'm sweating. I'm so nervous.
Well, you're also wearing a fucking hoodie in the middle of summer. Like my hoodie's at least short sleeve, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I got central AC going and I have a fan, so you know.
Oh, you have central AC.
I know,
motherfucker. You didn't tell me this during the heat wave last week.
What do you want? Would you want me to come? Do you want to come to my house?
I would have, motherfucker. Why did you call me over?
I don't know. You didn't ask. Nobody asked me.
Oh wow, almost a rupee.
Okay, tell her.
She's
You guys
gonna
were
she
always
will
invited.
she
You
will
know
gut you
this.
like a she will gut you like a fish if she knew that you had central AC and didn't invite us.
Well, damn. Well, and also, Paula's invited. Your mom's invited. Everyone's invited. Open
Yeah, now
doors.
now
Every
now that's cooler again. Of course we're invited.
yeah.
Jackass. All right, guys. That's I'm excited for today's episode. So being Tuesday, we're gonna do our movie reviews again. Again, I'm killing it with the transitions.
I
We're doing
know.
our movie reviews again. We're gonna start off with No Sudden Move, and then we will end off with Tomorrow War, which is both currently streaming for free, both in Canada and the US. So the Tomorrow War is on Amazon Prime, and No Sudden Move is available on HBO Max in the US and Crave in Canada, which is very exciting, free to watch. So what a great thing to talk about other than free movies. Even with all the great movie theaters in the theaters right now, not everyone's comfortable to go yet. So we have some amazing stuff and content to still watch at home. I am gonna go back to the theaters next week again when Black Widow comes out. I'm very excited to watch that in the theaters. I keep forgetting about it, so I need to buy tickets for that still and talk about that. And of course, we'll end our episode with Hot or Not. As you can tell, I spoiled the Hot or Not a little bit, but talking about Megan Fox. But we will have more content at the end. And this Thursday, we'll have our Q&A episode. No, new month means new questions, plus some old questions that we have to carry over just because we didn't have any. We usually do it begin the first week of every month. So 40, 35 followers on YouTube and a
Thank
200
you
whatever. Thank
for
you, of
every
course.
single 35 of you.
And then for the 200 plus that's on Instagram and Twitter, wherever you guys are following us, we do appreciate the love and the support. We with the new segment of doing movie reviews as of last month, we're still trying to figure out the scheduling. So we do appreciate the patience and everything. So we're wondering why there was no Q&A. We didn't forget about it. This last Thursday, it was a week after the whole Free Britney movement continuing on again. In addition to that, plus Conan O'Brien's
My boy
last
Conan.
his last night on late night, not his
Mhm.
actual ever, just on late night only. As going away as one of the biggest underdogs in television history to continue dominating other projects. We're all, of course, excited about that, and we'll keep you up to date on those projects as more news tend to come out with that. We'll dive right in right now, unless Murad, you have anything else to add? Are you watching anything new this week or?
No, I'm rewatching The Sopranos, and
Oh yeah,
that's
nice.
just because I well, also Varun, thank you for letting me borrow your Crave account to watch that.
Mhm.
I was watching it and then I forgot because I started rewatching it a while back, and then we started doing the podcast and I was trying to keep up with the new stuff, so I stopped watching it. And then so I started watching it again yesterday, and I went to season 2, and I was just trying to figure out where I left off. And for the life of me, I don't remember. So I'm just rewatching season 2 again, which just makes me realize how much right now so far I hate Tony Soprano's mom. She's just so annoying and just pisses me off. But I know what's gonna happen later on. So I'm excited to continue watching it before the new movie comes out, which I know we'll talk about later on.
So that looks so good. And again, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a random question for you then. Well, not random, but regarding to Sopranos. So is one thing I've been trying to think about more and more is that what was the moment that got you hooked in any movie, show, whatever. So for
Mm.
Sopranos, what was the moment for you? It's like, yeah, I'm watching this movie, this show till the end.
I think you and I talked about this before, especially with The Sopranos. It was more, when they're having the dinner and the waiters have the cameras. It
Yeah, it
was that scene because it was I forgot what song it was. It was Exhibit.
was Exhibit. Yeah,
It was
Paparazzi.
Exhibits. Paparazzi by Exhibit was
Paparazzi.
playing, and they were taking
Yeah.
photos. And yeah, I think it was right at that moment where I was just thinking, this is so good. This
Yeah,
it's so well
that
written.
moment, I agree. Like that moment really reeled me in. But
Yeah.
what kept me going was, I believe, it was the first episode when Christopher and Tony were driving in the car and they were, I can't remember the exact location. Maybe it was a university that they saw someone that was walking around
Yeah.
that owed them money,
Yeah.
and Christopher and Tony was like, fuck it, and start driving on the grass and chase them down and beat them. I'm like, this is fucking great. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I'm like, if this is the opening episode,
Yeah.
what else can happen? I was
Yeah.
so excited for that.
Yeah.
And then you meet a mobster named Pussy, right? Like, I don't know.
Pussy Walenga.
Right. So I'm excited for that, like to
Yeah.
watch that again. Like yourself, I'm gonna watch it again before the movie comes out.
Mhm.
I'm very excited for that movie to come out. So again, we'll talk about that during the
Mhm.
hot or not segment.
But that's a
But
different
those-
movie. Right now, we're going to talk about this movie. What did you think of that segue?
That was just as bad as mine. So I can't be hypocrite. That was
I thought
terrible.
that was fucking good.
But the movie we're talking about is No Sudden Move.
Mhm.
Again, I already mentioned it's currently on Crave TV in Canada for
Mhm.
free, and also in the US on HBO Max for free. So they're available to stream. Directed by the great Steven Soderbergh, with an all-star cast of Don Cheadle, Julia Fox, David Harbour, Brandon Fraser, John Hamm, and of course Benicio del Toro. So a quick version of it, Murad. I'm gonna get you to dive a little more deeper into this.
Sure.
But right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it is getting 88%. Audience score currently 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
Mhm.
audience they're not liking it as much as the critics. Where that I believe Murad and I are actually on agreement with that. And of course, we'll give our score at the end after everything. But what the movie essentially is this group of guys led by Don Cheadle, hired by Brandon Fraser, is hired to steal this sort of this paperwork, and then there's a domino effect of twist after twist and betrayal that leads to a hot mess at the end. So, Murad, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the movie and what were your first thoughts walking away from it?
So a little bit more about the movie. Essentially, I don't think I could say it any better because I was trying to figure out what the theme is, and I didn't really get it until I want to say the last 45 minutes of it, because they just kept introducing people, right? Like most movies, when they get into an introduction, they introduce the main, group of people within the first 10 minutes. They just kept introducing new people, and then when in that scene where they were in the office talking to Matt Damon's character, right? That's when I was like, okay, it started to kind of come together, right? But that was like an hour and 25, 30 minutes in, if I'm not mistaken.
Around them, yeah.
Right. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck? I just wasted like an hour and a half of my time when this could have been maybe wrapped in 30 minutes, that whole introduction. And I know you'll disagree with me on this, and I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I didn't like whatever the hell camera they were using. I know that sounds so nitpicky and that sounds so stupid, but there was this weird vignetting around all four corners.
It felt like a fishbowl lens. Like it sort of
It
felt like that.
It was.
Or it felt like you look
fisheye.
or like you're looking through a peephole through your door. Like it felt like you're watching. So it didn't bug me as much as you, like it bugged you, but it definitely was like it was more like what the hell.
Yeah.
But
did you also think that the focus was off? Like it just wasn't like anywhere you would look. I'm just thinking it's not crisp, it's not clear, and like if it was a stylistic decision to make it look like it was shot in that time period, sure, but they had really good camera technology back in the day, right? Like look at Singing in the Rain, look at Doctor Strangelove, look at everything that they've done from any Frank Sinatra movie from that time period. They had crystal clear cinematic lenses that could make this movie look a lot better.
I don't think it was a timepiece thing for the camera part. I just think it was an artistic thing they were trying to, Soderbergh was trying to accomplish. Like, not saying it worked. Right. I have a theory, which I have a theory about that afterwards, and we'll dive deep into that. But then, so that was your first thought, like walk away from the movie. Like, was it more of a this is too long, too many characters? What was the first thought when you walked away from that movie?
The first thought when I walked away from it was, oh, Benicio del Toro. Oh no, that's what I thought.
For me,
For
me, my first thought was this would have been so much better as a 10-episode series. I wish it was a miniseries, not a movie, because of the reasons you just said. There's way too many characters that was kept being introduced, and it felt compact but a long movie at the same time. Like it was one of those things. Like it felt really weird and trying to shove a bunch of things into a short movie. but the movie felt like so it felt so long because so many things were happening.
Mhm.
Is like how it felt like Steven Soderbergh was trying to like, hey, I'm gonna keep bringing more twists and being more fucked up next time, and they keep surprising you guys more and more and more, and it's not
Mhm.
really focused story. And then like that was my thought on the movie. I just wasn't feeling that whatsoever, and that's why I'm not surprised. And you and I agree, the audience score wasn't as high as the critic score on this one because
Mhm.
nothing wrong with the acting. I'm not as hard on you when it comes to the visual part of it. Like I'm okay with it. Not saying I loved it. I was
Mhm.
okay with it.
Mhm.
But this is also Steven Soderbergh, who, and my theory is about to come out now. I think Steven Soderbergh uses these sort of movies as a practice. So here's my theory. Have you ever watched Unsane?
In Unsane?
Unsane.
No,
Have you ever watched High Flying Bird?
no.
Okay. High Flying Bird, that's good. That's the answer I was expecting because I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people have seen those Steven Soderbergh movies because everyone's seen Oceans 11, 12, 13.
Mhm.
I'm pretty confident that the type of listeners that we have, or if you haven't already, we watched Aaron Brockovich, you've seen Traffic,
Mhm.
Logan Lucky, all great Steven Soderbergh directed movies.
Mhm.
The difference, so those are big ticket sort of blockbuster movies. Unsane and High Flying Bird were two experimental movies that Soderbergh created and made for himself. And I believe he felt those movies weren't going to get that big sort of publicity. So he felt very open to sort of fuck around with it and see what he can do. And that's what I felt like with this movie. It was never going to the theaters because it didn't hit theaters. It was straight to HBO. So it's
Yeah,
going to be an
straight to
HBO
HBO.
movie,
Yeah.
right? So it's an HBO original, the
They
way you want to
filmed it
look at
at
it.
They showed it at Tribeca, and then it went
Yeah,
straight
but
to
like,
HBO.
yeah, straight to HBO. So never hit the theaters. And
Mhm.
I think Steven Soderbergh always thought that, right? I
Mhm.
have a hard time believing that he expected to go to the theaters and didn't get that way. I'll be
Mhm.
surprised at that. Unsane filmed entirely with an iPhone 7.
Oh, that's that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
High Flying Bird, and a Netflix original about like NBA agents and things like that, filmed entirely in an iPhone 8. Now we're
Okay.
two for now we're 2 for 2 now for non-big name movies who he straight up just experimented and did okay when it comes to the streaming side.
Mhm.
And now we have this movie, which I don't know what he used for this movie. I'm sure you looked up already. If you haven't, or if you're not, I'm sure you will eventually. Is with this movie again, not hitting the theaters, not expecting to get a big audience, and the trailer just came out like a month ago,
Yeah, it was really quick.
right? You know what I mean? Like the trailer
Yeah.
just came out a month ago. There wasn't this big hype coming up into this, right? And this movie we found out about a month and a half, 2 months ago, right? Or a month before the trailer came out. So Soderbergh uses these movies as a practice. So
Practice for what though? Like that's my
for
question.
movies like Oceans, for a movie like Logan Lucky and Traffic and Aaron Brockovich, where he could do whatever he wants there, so that way he could learn from it and realize, hey, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not going to do this again. I just want to
Mhm.
see how it looked. I think Steven Soderbergh is at that high power level where he can do that with any movie now. I really do believe that because I still because it's so like a new category that we sort of added into our reviews is who won
Mhm.
the movie. For me, who
Mhm.
won the movie is Steven Soderbergh, and the reason why I think he won the movie is because you and I did not like his movie. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ever stop watching a Steven Soderbergh movie ever again?
No.
I can when you hear Steven Soderbergh is directing another movie, are you gonna be excited
Yeah.
to watch it?
I'm not over the moon, but yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
because you think about the movies like Oceans,
Mhm.
like Logan Lucky, right?
Mhm.
Like these fun sort of heist movie filled with all
Yeah.
sort of casts. He can do it. I just think, and I don't think he mailed in these movies that he made, like the movies I already mentioned. I went straight to streaming services.
I think
I just
yeah, you
think
put effort into it.
he put effort to it, but he's like, I'm gonna fuck around as much as I can. I'm gonna
Mhm.
put 100 different spices. I'm gonna put a million cooks in the kitchen and see what I can get. And that's my that's my take on the winner of the movie and about the movie. What's your thoughts on that?
Uh, I mean, so I buy the theory of he's just fucking around.
Yeah,
Although I don't think this is the movie he should have fucked around with because the story had the
I no, I agree.
potential.
No, I agree with that. No, I 100% agree with that because this
Yeah,
movie could have been great.
could have been so good. Although I
Yeah.
think the winner in this case is the soundtrack. I'm not sure how much you like the soundtrack or if you like paid attention to it, but
Hmm.
it did seem like you're watching like a noir film, right?
Yeah.
Like The Third Man with Orson Welles. Like it had that same sort of emotion. It had, and I think a lot of that was driven by the use of the score in this movie.
Hmm.
From when a new character was revealed or someone said something, you just hear like a trumpet slide in the back. So those things like that, I do get why he did it. So stylistically, it was good direction. Cinematically, it was bad lens work. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. There's an article that I read yesterday. I just pulled up again from so lazy at the movies.com.
Nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
so that's the website. But essentially it says but it was the lens work that was most distracting. And Soderbergh, I understand why Soderbergh went with the lens for the old school feel, but it didn't come across that way. So, and then they also do say that like Soderbergh movies generally do go to the theaters, with this one being a bit different. So they agree with your theory as well. It's just not this movie, not this story, not with this cast, you know?
I again, I agree because the other movies I mentioned already, like High Flying Bird, is a movie about. I didn't watch the movie
Mhm.
just because I didn't have a lot of interest in it, even though it's a basketball movie related about the NBA. But it seemed like a movie about the lockout and player empowerment and like an NBA agent, that sort of stuff. The movie
Mhm.
itself, it's not a typical Steven Soderbergh movie. Unsane is a psychological thriller,
Mhm.
right? But starring Jay Farrow. So I'm not a big fan
Also
of him as
Claire
an
Foy,
huh?
Claire Foy of The Crown.
Oh, she's in that?
Yeah, she's the
I
lead.
forgot.
Yeah,
Honestly, I like it's one of those things like I forgot who's in that movie. I just know Jay
yeah,
Farrow's in that movie, and then
yeah.
I remember that because I remember that's not the reason. That's the reason I didn't want to watch it.
That's fair.
Because I'm outside of doing impressions, I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know. All I know is
He's
that he sounds like
great.
Jay Z.
He's a great. Like, his impressions are top notch, like
Yeah,
absolutely amazing,
phenomenal. Good
everything.
work. Yeah,
But that's it.
yeah. I do like
But
that.
yeah,
I do like that Steven Soderbergh because I didn't know this High Flying Bird movie existed. For a budget of $2 million, which for a Steven Soderbergh production is very, very little. I
especially
do
for
like that he does,
especially for
especially for
Netflix, who no
Netflix. Yeah,
Netflix not shy about throwing money around. So he could have asked for money, but he's like, no, I'm
true.
good with this.
Yeah, they keep giving money to Riverdale, so we know that they have money. For fuck's
Who's
sakes.
so you know my winner of the movie. Who's your winner of the movie?
My winner of the movie was whoever composed the soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah. What
Then
about your
then
loser?
oh, that's a good question. The loser of the movie, I would have to say, is John Hamm. So
Interesting.
I love John Hamm.
Yeah,
I really do.
sure.
And when he was in Baby Driver, I
Mhm,
was very excited.
mhm.
And the reason I was very excited for that movie is because he's finally not playing a cop or like a cop like figure. And he was very different out of his role, not wearing this like sort of suit, uptight kind of person like we've seen in
Very
Mad
similar to
Men,
Mad Men. Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, and he does really well in the roles he does. I just want to see more of John Hamm doing different things,
Mhm.
and this doesn't help that.
That's fair.
That's me. I'm tired of seeing John Hamm, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's John Hamm just doesn't want to be a lead in a movie because he's been a lead in one movie, like
Okay.
$1 Million Arm,
Oh, that's right. I
right?
forgot
Like,
the movie existed.
yeah,
Whoa.
I know. That's why I almost forgot about that. But that's his one lead, right? Can you think of
Yeah.
another lead? He's like his second biggest like movie has to be The Town, where he's like the like not even a secondary role, like he's more of a
Yeah.
bottom secondary, top third role. Like
That movie.
not saying John Hamm's the type of person who can carry a movie,
Mhm.
right? But I'm saying he's the type of movie like he's the type of person that could potentially co-run a movie, co-star in a movie. And
Mhm.
I want to see more of that. Or put him in a comedy. I love
Yeah.
him. He was fantastic
He's
in Bridesmaids. He was so funny in
yeah.
Bridesmaids,
Yeah.
right? And I don't
And
know.
he's
That's
just
my
a
losing
funny
movie.
person in general too. Yeah,
He
given that
is
ability, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
He is like he's done a lot of great
Kimmy
things.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, he was hilarious.
He was, oh yeah, that's I was blanking on that name. Thank you.
Yeah,
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 he
yeah.
was great in that too.
Mhm.
Sorry, my Paul was like over here moaning. Not sure if
Oh
anyone heard
no.
that.
Oh,
He's
I
a,
did not, but that's so cute for
he's
those
a
of you
he's
who are
a he's a
listening.
yeah, he's annoyed that I'm not paying attention to him.
That's
It is
okay.
what it is.
Tell him you pay attention to him soon. We got a podcast to record here, Apollo. Come on.
Hey, don't talk to him that way.
I'm sorry, Apollo. I take a bullet for you, man. You know that.
But that's me. Like that's
Yeah.
for John Hamm. Like that
Yeah.
was the loser of the movie. This wasn't. I was just very disappointed to keep seeing him in this role. He was fine in this
Mhm.
movie too. It's not like he was bad in this movie.
Yeah. He's
But
not
like
bad
I
in
kept
any
seeing
movie, but he can do
no.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Every movie he's ever been in, he's been fine.
Mhm.
And with the work he's done in The Town and Baby Driver, Mad Men, I'm surprised he's not like at least a low A star. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just in that part of A class of Hollywood actors. His
He
name is there,
yeah.
but like I
He
don't know.
does have the charisma. He does have the not I don't want to say star power yet, but he does definitely have the charisma to be at the level of, let's say, a Brad Pitt, right? Like to get to that level where people adore him that much. No matter what he does, he's charming, he's very sweet, he's always very cordial. And he's from what I've seen in Mad Men, I love that show. And one of the reasons why is because A, you have Matthew Weiner directing it, who wrote for The Sopranos. So he's good with like character backstories, and you have John Hamm, who's just looks so tortured all the time in that show, right? It could be his kid's birthday, but it just looks like he's about to like get shot in the face with how tense he is, right?
Yeah.
So we know that he can do these fun, like these really deep dive character roles. He doesn't. I don't know why, but my loser for this film would have to be Benicio del Toro. Only and not because he did anything bad in the movie. It's just because what happens to him, you know, like so much work, so much effort, and he had I don't know. He just it just seemed like he
talk
just wanted to
talk,
be
talk.
friends with everyone in this movie, and everyone just kept fucking him up. You
Yeah,
know?
he got burned a few times. Like
Yeah,
people kept
yeah.
betraying him, but if you're in a life of crime, that's what you expect, right?
I know, I know. I just it was nice to see. It was nice to see Brendan Fraser come back in a role that was a bigger movie.
he was great in Doom Patrol. Like he is great in Doom Patrol. If you haven't seen that yet,
Right. No, but I
it's
know him from I don't know from all the movies that came. Like, he was popping in like the early 2000s, mid
yeah.
2000s, right? And I don't think he ever reached that level again. So it was nice to see him again. It was a nice little nudge from my
Man,
childhood.
nice to have a good old Canadian on the big screen again,
That's
a big movie
true.
again, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I think we already talked about what we would change, right? So, like I mentioned already, the biggest thing I'd change is to make this into a mini series.
Mhm.
That's probably the biggest takeaway for me. What about you?
Yeah. I would throw on a nice I would throw on like a nice cinema prime lens and make sure that the profiles and the colors all match together just because I don't know, there was this one moment where I think it was Don Cheadle was walking across the street and they were panning across to him, and you saw a car that was like really squished, and then when Don Cheadle would walk past, it would of course decompress, so you would see the car, and then when he would walk past again, the car would squish again. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck's going on, right? Like, why are you using a fisheye effect? I don't know. I hated that shit so much.
Well, Marat, I'm gonna let
Oh.
you cool down for a bit. We'll take a quick break, then we'll come back and talk about uh
Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow War. But before we head off, what's your final score for No Son of Move?
Oh, it had the potential to be like a 9, but it ended off at like a 6.
5.5 for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Similar energy.
I wanted to give it a 5, actually, honestly, but
yeah.
there were still good moments,
Yeah.
right? And like I said, they had the
Absolutely.
pieces there. So I'll give it a 5 out of 5 out of 10. Marat gives a 6 out of 10. We're gonna go on a break here, and I'm gonna give you my take on Tomorrow War. Thanks for giving us some time for a little for Murad to cool down a little bit after that little rant about camera work, which I'm sure about 98% of you listeners don't even really notice or how to fix it. But if you have any more questions, you go always hit up Murad on Instagram. He'll answer them for you. He's not shy about sharing opinions. I'm definitely not. But now we're here to talk about the Tomorrow War. Of course, it's a movie that Murad didn't watch, but it's a reminder that this movie is available to stream on Amazon Prime, and it's a an action movie where it didn't get a lot of hype because it didn't really look that great. So here's
You know what's okay? So you said I didn't watch it, which okay, fair enough, I didn't.
I don't think a lot of people
we're
did.
so no, and I remember because you and I were on the phone, we were trying to discuss, we're trying to lay out the game plan for today. And you said, "Hey, there's a couple new movies coming out." I said, "Okay, hit me with them." Okay, you said no said movie. I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." Sure, wasn't on my radar. And then you said Tomorrow War, and I was like, "Oh, what's that about?" You said zombie film. I said, "No, fuck that. You know, what? You can watch that on your own. I'll just hear your review. I'm out." And immediately, I think it was almost immediately. As soon as you said, I was like, "No, I'm done. I can't watch that one. It's all you." So you knew this time.
Oh, I knew. Oh, I knew.
Yeah. So it
I still have
wasn't.
to bring it up. I still have to bring it up.
Yeah.
I'll have a one way conversation with
Go
myself.
for it.
But the Tomorrow War, I'm again mentioning it's on Amazon Prime to stream for free. It's available everywhere in Canada and US. So check it out if you think my review sells it or not. But the movie did get a decent score on Rotten Tomatoes. Is currently getting a 53% from the critic score, which is the opposite of No Sudden Move. But again, the audience score is also the opposite, which is getting 82%.
Mhm.
So critics, not a lot of love, but from the people, a lot more love with it. Which is a very interesting take because this movie gave put me through a bit of emotional roller coaster. Not meaning that, not saying that it made me feel so many different ways because of the
Mhm.
movie. It just like the movie, I'm like, this movie's garbage. Oh, this movie's fun. Oh, this movie's weird. Whoa, this is cool. Like it's one of those things where like there's a lot going on and it was
Yeah.
super long. Like,
Yeah.
this is longer than No Sudden Moves.
How long? What's the
Like
runtime?
almost 2.5 hours long.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, man. It was
Oh,
long. So this
yeah.
movie, starring the very popular Chris Pratt. You have J.K. Simmons in that movie, which everyone loves. Does play a small role in that. So Chris Pratt does play a character named Dan Forrester. J.K. Simmons
Mhm.
plays James Forrester, who is Dan's dad. They have other characters in this movie, such as Sam Richardson. He plays
So
Charlie. Most people would recognize him from Veep.
deep.
Had a role on that. Very funny actor. He did bring more to comedic relief in this movie. Um, and yeah, so that's the the story behind this movie is very generic and it's been done 100 times. This is a different version of it where during 2022 they're sitting around watching a World Cup soccer match, and then a time warp comes in the middle of the soccer field as the player from Brazil was on a breakaway about to score a goal. And is talking about it sounds so dumb. It really does. But then
You almost
this
had
group of
me
armed
watch this for 2.5 hours of my life. Let's keep that in
hey,
mind.
hey, I didn't ask you to watch it. I just told you what's out.
No, I know, I
So
know.
the blue portal comes out in the middle of the soccer field, and massive army comes through it.
Yeah.
Where they're saying that, hey guys, in 30 years we're about to get some fucked up shit, and we gonna die if you don't help us.
Mhm.
So long story short, they're between 2022 and like 2052, whatever the years are, just 30 years apart. They're traveling back and forth to essentially recruit people from the past to help them in their time to fight up this alien species. Yeah.
That's the most unenthusiastic yup I've ever heard. My
It
goodness.
was one, like I said, the movie's unnecessarily long. So essentially what happens is that the draft gets reintroduced in the world
Mhm.
where you get drafted, you join the war, like they did back in the day.
Mhm.
And if you get drafted, you don't have a choice. You either get drafted or you and everyone that's of age 18 or older gets thrown in jail as from your family. So if you get drafted, Murad, and you said no, and like your parents, everyone go
Mhm.
to jail too. Right?
What
This is
if
just
what
part of your
if what
punishment.
if what if you're a rich white man?
Uh didn't play the race card in this one. So far everyone gets drafted. But there
Oh,
was a theme where and it's not a spoiler alert, where
yeah.
if you are dead when the attack happens, you will get recruited. So let's say you die. So let's say the attack happened 2052.
Mhm.
You're gonna die in 2047. So 5 years before the attack happens. You're dead
Oh.
anyway. So when you that's why like all the people in the army were super young, and versus the people that are being sent is like not as young. Usually around everyone's around the 40 plus range because they don't make it to that far.
Mhm.
And what they send you get they have no training. They don't wear proper attire. Like they're like wearing suits and like cargo. Like I don't know, it's really weird. The whole step of the draft is so dumb. Which will bring me to this point. How the fuck did we live in a society where drafts were always a normal thing? Because that's my first takeaway from this movie. Like, why do drafts still exist today?
They don't still exist today.
They do. It's called the
And
NBA, NFL, NHL. They're sports
oh,
drafts.
I thought you meant like war drafts, my
No,
guy.
this is
Oh,
general. This is general. Why do drafts exist? Isn't it weird that drafts exist? This is not an original take. This has been talked about so many times on sports radio and things
did
like
you smoke
that.
some weed before this?
No, like imagine you being the
Yeah.
top of your field
Yeah.
and you have to go to a shitty company.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
So it evens out the league. I mean, if we're talking about sports, it evens out the league, right?
Who cares
Because
about even at the league? Have a good franchise. Be smart about it. But we can go off topic, but that's what I mean. But it's in general. Like we can have a whole conversation about this. But the idea of a draft was super weird and super like just hard to watch in this movie because everyone's getting ripped away from their families and not have a choice. And everyone has to serve a minimum of one tour in this sort of battle. A tour lasts 1 week. And reason why it lasts 1 week because every sort of 7 days, non-biblical, I guess, connection, but like the aliens rest.
So aliens. I thought it was zombies.
I thought it was zombies too, but it's aliens.
Okay, all right.
So that's the movie. Yeah.
Where did you hold on? You know, hold on.
Unimpressive, but
okay. So I'm gonna ask you, what was your thought walking away from this?
Like the thought walking away from this, drafts are stupid.
Okay.
And this movie's way too fucking long.
Okay.
Way too long.
Winner
and Chris McKay, who directed this movie, either needs one, more practice directing real people.
Okay.
Or two, stick with Lego movies. Because he's all the Lego movies. He does the Lego movie, did the Batman Lego movie, does all
which
the
are
Lego
fantastic.
Movies. Are great. There's nothing wrong with that. I love the first Lego movie. It was so fucking good. But he either needs more practice directing real people, or he needs to stick with Lego movies. It has to be one or the other. Because getting a big budget movie like this, had little directions, really messy and all over the place. Because the first half of the movie felt so long.
Okay.
Where it actually did pick up in the second half. But it picked up second half because a lot of explosions and action scenes. Right? Like it was very fast paced.
So it wasn't him.
No.
Okay.
But like I think this movie on a different director or even a different script writer could have been more fun. But you know when bad movies tries to be good and it turns out being more bad than actually that's what this movie was.
Okay.
So
I can see it.
I'm not surprised by the critic score. I'm not surprised by the audience score because like I said, it did pick up at the end of the movie. And it could have been more of a recency bias when people are like, oh, after all the good parts happen, oh, maybe this movie's not that bad after all. Because the movie lasted about 2 hours and 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But like it didn't really wrap up until the last 10 minutes of the movie. They crammed up all this fucking stuff at the end of the movie and it felt so rushed to get everything part of it, where they're gonna cut so much out in the beginning of the movie. And man, it's just a shorter movie, and it could have been an hour 45. If the movie's an hour 45, I would enjoy it a lot more.
Okay,
that's my quick take on it. Like if that's the winner of the movie, there are no winners. Like there are no winners. No one won this movie. The audience didn't win this movie. The aliens definitely did not win this movie.
Could you imagine if the aliens
I
won
could,
this fucking movie?
I could say probably say Chris Pratt won this movie because again, like my Steven Soderbergh take, like I'm gonna watch him again,
Mhm.
but I'm starting to doubt his career path now
And that's exactly what I was gonna say because
because he's a A-list version of Miles Teller in a way where like he's people will watch his stuff. You see
Mhm,
his name, oh hey, Chris Pratt's in it.
mhm.
Okay, what else has he done? Like
But he's yeah,
Guardians
he's
is
made some
great.
questionable choices. Yeah,
Like Guardians is great, of
yeah,
course. Which
yeah,
will put him over the moon.
yeah.
I enjoyed Jurassic World,
Mhm.
right? Came out same year, if not like within like 18 months of each other. But what's that movie? Was it Passengers?
Passengers, yeah.
Fuck, don't get me started on that.
It
That
was
was hot.
stupid,
That was hot trash.
stupid
That was
movie.
so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy him in 5 Year Engagement, even though he was like a co-star in that. He wasn't like the main actor.
The
That movie in
Magnificent
general.
Seven, he wasn't that good in.
Oh my
And that's
god,
that's
that was
already a
oh
shit
yeah,
film. So to not be the best part of a shit film, come on.
yeah. Like not even the best part because like it's hard to be the best person in a movie when Denzel's in a movie. But come on, like are we sure Chris Pratt's good?
I don't know. I okay,
Are
here's my
we
thing. Here's my thing.
are we sure? Because Andy Dwyer is one of my fucking favorite characters of all time. I
Yeah.
fucking
No,
love
he's
him in Parks and Recreation.
I,
And
I
fucking
think
amazing
he's
in
good
that.
at being that quirky, kind of dumb character. I don't think he can lead. I don't think he can lead.
But he wasn't leading in the Magnificent Seven, and he's mentioned that. And
No, I know, but he's leading in this one,
yeah.
right? He's leading in Jurassic World, which of course is not a bad movie by any means.
But to be fair, he's not the lead in that movie either. Dinosaurs are.
Yeah, okay,
That's my
so
take.
I didn't see any dinosaurs walk down the red carpet.
Oh, they're instinct, dumbass. Come on now.
No, but what do you mean? Like, what do you mean the dinosaurs? I don't get
Well, like
it.
people like to me, the lead
They
is the
go
reason
there
why
for
you
the
watch the
dino.
movie.
Oh, okay,
Why
okay,
do you
fair
watch the
enough.
movie? Right? You like
Mhm.
who's on the movie poster when you think about Jurassic World? The dinosaurs. That's the lead. That's the selling point, right?
I
So,
got you. I got you. That's what you, okay.
Chris Pratt is the leading human, that's for sure. but yeah, are we sure Chris Pratt's any good?
I question his credibility. I also question his movie picking decisions. So that's that. I don't know. But you know what?
Are we gonna like? Do you think when have a Chris Pratt turnaround? Do you think it's a feature in him?
I think so. You know what? If he continues to take roles like Parks and Rec, like Peter Quill in the Avengers universe, yeah. But I don't think I could ever take him seriously, you know? Because I've seen
Do
him.
you know what? Do you know what Chris Pratt needs?
Hmm.
I think he needs a buddy cop movie.
You think that's the solution?
I think that's the solution.
Okay. I was thinking put him put him in a more of in a more enforcer role where he's not leading, but he's like the quiet guy, because I think he could be intimidating if he has to be. So
No.
have him be more quiet and reserved and have him be the muscle that we know he could maybe be. And then we could see him do better.
Hey Arnold, you're his father-in-law. Like, show him some stuff, man.
You really?
Like, yeah,
Who's he married to?
I can't remember the daughter's name, but like he's married to Arnold's daughter, dude.
Is he really? Whoa, I didn't know that.
They have a kid together.
Oh, I don't keep up with his life.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I don't know. That's over everything. Like, there's no one in the movie was bad.
the
I guess it's
losers
like
were
Chris
the
Pratt.
audience.
Yeah, yeah. No, honestly, Murad, the winner was you for avoiding this movie.
Fuck yeah.
Congratulations on your only win in life.
I know. Whoa, buddy.
You
Where
said I
is
know
this coming
first.
from? Yeah. That was so brutal. God damn. Oh, it took the breath out of my wins. What? Breath out of my lungs. That's the one. That's what I was looking for. But you know what? Let's take a break because I know we have a few things to talk about in Hot or Not. And
Absolutely.
and then we can go from there. Welcome back, people, listeners, viewers, wherever you're joining us. Welcome back. You know what, Rune? I was thinking about it. I do think there are a few winners from that last segment, and I think it's all the listeners that are listening to this because they're listening to us, and I think they're winning at life for doing so. Was that too corny or what? I thought that was awesome. All right, moving right along, we're gonna talk about some of the. Can you stop looking at me like that? Come on, give me something. Okay, whatever. All right, while they try to get Brune's attention, we're gonna talk about, the news around Hollywood, any new releases, any new casting updates, any new movies that have been announced in our weekly segment, Hot or Not. Rune, do you want to start us off? Should I start us off? You still look like you're upset at me.
I think you should make up for that last couple
Oh,
lines there. So I think you should start first.
oh, I tried so hard. Okay, fine. I wanted to talk about this movie that was announced a while back. Have you heard of Babylon? No? Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
familiar.
Okay.
Tell me more.
So, directed by Damien Chazelle, who did Whiplash, La La
Yeah,
Land,
yeah.
First Man, right? So, very into old Hollywood or like period pieces and showing homages to that. He's making a movie that is supposed to take place in early Hollywood, and it's following the switch from silent films to the talkies. So 20s, 30s Hollywood. It's supposed to be a rated R film. Not sure what that really entails, but that was a big selling point of it. And the cast is, to me, is really good. So I'm not sure if you've seen the cast list, but it's Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. So they're reuniting after Once Upon a Time. They have Samara Weaving, who's in Ready or Not
Yeah.
and a Netflix show Hollywood. Max Minghella, I think that's how you say his name. They also, it's rumored to have Toby Maguire, and the cast list is growing from there. So there's not a lot of information on this. This movie was greenlit in 2019. After First Man didn't do so well, they still greenlit this. It has a big budget. Cast right now looks promising. What do you think?
Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. It could be about anything. I'm in on that one. So I'm definitely gonna say hot,
Okay.
regardless of what the movie's about. Just because you mentioned this already, but Brad Pitt's charisma, Margot Robbie's charisma is
Unreal.
unreal, and she is like, I know she broke into the big screen as the beautiful girl, the
Yeah,
beautiful woman in Wolf of Wall Street, but man, is she fucking talented,
she is.
right? Like she is fantastic, right?
Hmm.
So I'm actually more interested in her because I think she's gonna have this super long acting career.
Hmm.
She's gonna have a bunch of awards on her belt,
Hmm.
and I'm just excited to see this one. So I'm definitely a hot on this one.
Perfect. I'm glad you like that. What do you have
Yeah,
for us?
it could be a biopic about a garbage man. If Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie's
Yeah.
in it, like I'm in.
Do you so I you know what, I just thought of a question. Do you think there's too many movies that Hollywood makes about itself? Or do you think there's not enough? Or like do you not really care? Because I love those movies. It gives me like a
I don't.
little glimpse into
I
the
personally don't
past.
keep track of that.
Okay.
Like if it's enough for not enough,
Hmm.
uh, it's a lot easier to get greenlit. And I feel
Right.
like when you're making this kind of movies, because Hollywood loves talking about itself, as long as not a lot of controversy behind it. If it makes themselves look good or see like, oh, an underdog story come through, or a
Right.
movie, like more common thing we talked about during our Oscar recap is like a movie like Mank, where it's a movie about making another movie. And I think something like that will be a more of a thing going forward. We have these trends. We had the big musical biopics in the past with a movie like Ray or Walk the Line.
Hmm.
We've had those white hero movies in a black movie. We're helping
Hmm.
underdog. We've had,
Hmm.
now we're having this sort of run of movies about
About
making movies,
right.
right? So I think we're sort of in that trend now, and it's not controversial. It's I don't want to say it's safe. Like that's the wrong word I want to choose for them, but like it's a working formula for them.
Hmm.
And with the success of the movies in the past, again, like Meg or anything like that at all, it's just fun. Because there's some movies out there where it's about Hollywood, but not really about Hollywood. I really enjoy it. Like one of my favorite movies about like the film industry is I love Get Shorty. If you haven't seen Get Shorty, it's fucking fantastic. it's not like a realistic type of movie, but it's a mobster movie in Hollywood where John Travolta starring in it, and who essentially is this guy who gets stuff done for some bad people, but it's based on like some of the people he's working for or working against is Hollywood screenwriters, directors, studio heads, or anything like that at all.
Mhm.
This is more of the grimy part of it. The Gentleman sort of had that a little bit at the very end
Mhm.
of their movie,
Mhm.
and is just continuing to go on again. I love these sort of behind the scene but real sort of companies. Like if you've seen the Nice Guys behind the auto industry, that was fantastic
Right.
too. So I love these kind of movies where to have that sort of take on it. I'm not really a fan of the real life story behind it. I don't think that's as entertaining because I don't think real information will come out or cause controversy. But I'm in.
Right.
There's no such thing as making too much of one thing unless it's coming so close together. That's what I
Right.
have an
Okay.
issue with,
Fair enough.
right? Like was that movie Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down, like two movies that came out within like 8 months of each other
Yeah.
about a White House being taken over by terrorists, right? I'm like, oh, we just
I
got
mean,
this.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the movie Flight and the movie Sully came out just a couple years apart. We did two exact same movies about a pilot making impossible landings. Yes, one's a biopic, one's not, but
Mhm.
still, like I just watched this movie.
Mhm.
Why do I want to watch it again?
Mhm.
So as long as it's
I
not
think it
too
was
close
Zero
together,
Dark
I'm all.
30, Argo, and I think they all came around the same time as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always a trend, right?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
music, like food, like fashion. Making movies is a trend too. The only trend that hasn't gone away is superheroes. It just keeps getting better and better. People try to copy it and have not done well,
Mhm.
right? So
Fair enough.
I'm fine with it. That's for
Okay.
sure. Next, The Weekend. Did you hear about this?
He said to star in something, but that's all I saw.
Yeah. So The Weekend is actually
Yeah.
working with HBO, um, in a show called The Idol. So essentially, it's going to be a series following a female pop singer who starts a romance with a LA club owner who's also a leader of a secret cult. Um, so yeah, like I mentioned, it's going to be for HBO. The reason I am interested in this movie is not because of The Weekend, even though he's going to be
As
starring
the
it,
club owner?
creating it, and co-writing it. Doesn't say what he's gonna play. I'm assuming he's gonna play the club owner because he's gonna be one of the stars of the show.
Mhm.
But they're working with the co-creators and the creators of Euphoria. So
Oh, Sam Levinson and those
that's
guys.
yeah. So I'm very interested in how that turns out.
Mhm.
Euphoria is a great show. It's a fucked up show. It's a show where like I'm afraid to have kids show if high school parties were really like that because I had never been to a high school party like that before.
I
Like
don't think I don't think they exist.
I don't know, man.
I'm nervous.
It's been a while since I've been in high school,
That's
but
fair.
I am gonna say hot now because one, it's little to no commitment for me because it's gonna be on HBO Max,
Mhm.
so HBO and Crave TV, so it'll be available to stream here also. It's about the music industry. So we just sort of talked about that, like talking about shows and movies about like that
The
industry.
industry,
And the
yeah.
music industry is something I've always been interested in too.
Mhm.
One of many industries.
Yeah.
So I am in on that.
Okay. I would be as well. As long as it's anytime I think of the weekend, I think of like something really gritty, something really, I don't want to say filthy, but I think like when you're watching it, or of course with the weekend so far, you're listening to his music. There's always an air of, ooh, this is like it feels kind of grimy, right? It feels kind of like it feels unpolished and unfinished, and I hope it's kind of like that, especially if the people from Euphoria are doing it as well as with the weekend. I hope it carries that same notion of, ooh, okay, this is kind of, I feel like I shouldn't be watching this, right? Because there is a lot of
Mhm.
fucked up things in the industry that I do hope that they do spotlight. I can also see the weekend running a secret sex cult. I'm not sure if it was a sex cult or a regular cult, but
It says
I don't know.
cult.
Oh, is this a
So
cult? Okay.
yeah, it
I
says
could see
cult.
him running a secret sex cult though, like it makes sense. It's very on brand for the weekend. Yeah, I mean I'm excited for it. I hope they do well. And HBO Max is absolutely killing it. So I'm excited to see how they continue to move forward and roll out new projects. Mhm.
All right, man. You're next.
So Oh, there's so many things I want to talk about. Okay. I'm going to talk about, have you heard of Star Wars Visions?
I have, but tell the
Okay.
people.
So, Star Wars Visions is a collection of short films that, of course, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Disney, that they're partnering with artists from like Japanese anime and Japanese manga uh, to create stories, mainly done in the style of Astro Boy, mainly done in the style of Ikaru, if you've seen that. Not Ikaru, sorry, Akira, if you've seen that. So it's supposed to be a rock opera storytelling type format, following a master and a Padawan who meet an unknown enemy, right? As someone, I've seen anime throughout my life. I'm not a huge fan, but of course, there's some stories that stuck me in, and I'm watching Attack on Titan now, which is an anime. So I'm excited for this. I really liked when they did Batman Ninja. I'm not sure if you saw that when they did Batman in
Yep.
feudal Japan. And if it's something similar to that, I am very, very excited for this. And just watching the interviews that the artists were doing, they were really excited for this as well. What do you think?
I mentioned before when it comes to anime, I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm out. Not. This is not my cup of tea. It's not something
Can I
I.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you, is what about it? Is it the art style? Is it because the art style is very
I
different,
won't
but
say it's
it's
the art
also the
style.
pacing of
No.
the dialogue. That's very different
It's not.
too.
It's not the art style. It's just that it's hard to tell what it is. I won't say the stories never really interested me.
Okay.
I think it's what it is over anything. Like it's never really interested in me. Um, and it tries to be goofy sometimes, tries to be actiony sometimes. I'm not just when it comes to animation in general. Like
Mhm.
is not it doesn't feel as clean to me.
Okay.
That's all. This just
Okay.
feels more out of everywhere for me.
Hmm.
And I know I'm gonna get butchered because anime has a huge following, and
But
I
it's really not for everybody. Like
it's
it's
just not for
very
me.
different.
It really
Yeah.
is. Not saying it's bad.
Hmm.
Like I've seen anime before, right? It's not like I'm
Hmm.
not watched anime before. What's that? I'm butchering. I'm remember forgetting the name on Netflix. Transylvania? No.
Black
Uh,
Butler,
no. It's in Transylvania, but the vampires.
Hotel Transylvania, the the Selena Gomez movie with the vampires.
No, bro.
What,
Hey,
what are you
Netflix. Hold
talking
on.
about?
Castlevania. My God.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Castlevania. Like I seen Castlevania. I enjoyed it. It
Mhm.
was cool, but
Mhm.
like I'm
Okay.
not gonna go around running around people. You should watch it. It's like Castlevania is cool. Like I
Mhm.
liked it. I grew up watching
Mhm.
Dragon Ball. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if Pokemon counts as anime, but like I
I
watched
think
Pokemon growing
so.
up. I'm pretty sure I watched the white version of it though, because it's on like white TV in Canada.
What? White TV. Okay, no, I
No,
get it.
why TV? Why TV?
My bad.
It's called
That was
YTV.
yeah,
My
I remember
bruh.
YTV. Yes,
But so
YTV.
yeah, YTV. So I'm not saying anime is this show that no, like I don't think it's good. It's just not for
Mhm.
me. That's
Oh,
all.
that's fair. That's fair. You gave it a
That's
fair
all.
shot.
So
Yeah.
that's I'm out on that. Like I've always watched Dragon Ball stuff because I grew up on it. I
Mhm.
think the anime if I watched it when I was younger, I'm into it. Just have some reason as an adult watching anime now, I just don't care for it for
That's
whatever
fair.
reason. My taste has changed. That's all.
That's okay. All right. Well, it's not for you. No, that's fine. I'm excited because I know a lot of the animators are really excited to finally be able to tell Star
Mhm.
Wars because they grew up loving Star Wars. And a lot of people who are in animation love Star Wars, right? So because of like the outlandish and the story of it all and how much they can do with it. So no, but I do understand what you mean. But do you have any what do you want to end off with?
Well, what do you mean? What I'm going to end off with? We can't end this podcast and not talk about the many saints of New York. Like we can't. Let's talk about how fucking amazing that trailer was and how beautiful that
I
was
left that
and
for
how
you.
Michael Gandolfini is a spitting image of his fucking dad. Like holy shit, the mannerisms, everything. Like I was so skeptic when this prequel was announced. So this prequel is to Sopranos, and Michael Gandolfini, who's no James Gandolfini's son,
I didn't know that.
plays plays Tony Soprano. You didn't know that was his
I
son?
didn't know that.
So when this movie got
Holy
announced,
shit.
it was announced as a prequel. I believe it was originally supposed to be a mini series
Mm-hmm.
with the original creator of The Sopranos, and Michael Gandolfini was set to star as young Tony Soprano.
Mm-hmm.
I was so out on this. I was outraged. I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Then it turned to more of a movie now. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe this might be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not a show. It's not a miniseries. It's a movie. I'm like, okay, how can you tell a mobster movie story? How can you tell a mobster story in a movie now? Because that's, in my opinion, impossible now. Like, I haven't been a good mob movie in 20 years.
A good mob movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
don't think Hollywood's made a good mob movie
American
since.
Gangster is the closest thing. American Gangster is the closest thing we'll
Yeah.
ever get to it. But
Yeah.
American Gangster will never get talked about mob movies like it does, like with the Casino and the Goodfellas or anything,
Yeah.
right?
Godfather.
Oh, Godfather is a whole different level. Like I said, I don't consider it a mob
Unbelievable.
movie. It's fantastic. Like it's a
Yeah.
great movie.
It's a fucking
But
piece of art.
yeah, man. But when I saw this trailer,
Yeah.
one, I watched it like 10 times because it was so fucking good. And I was so pissed I was watching it the first time on a phone.
Yeah.
As soon as I came home, I got on my TV, turned my Apple TV on, opened the YouTube app, made sure she was on 4K, and watched the shit again. It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it. And it's set to hit theaters and HBO Max on October 1st.
October 1st.
I just can't wait. That's why I'm about to watch The Sopranos again. I'm so excited. I am all fucking in.
Mhm.
I haven't been this all in since the F9 trailer, so I'm pumped. This is
I
gonna be
love
better
it,
than
man.
F9 though.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped for this.
I can tell. I didn't know it was a son, but now knowing that it's son and just looking at some of the screen captures, it's unreal. I'm excited for this. I'm also I know you said this a couple weeks ago, but you said that you were excited to see the character progression or the acting progression of John Bernthal, and I'm glad that he's evolved in something like this. And I think there's one person who's from the show who's on this as well, right? Unless I'm tripping out.
No, it shouldn't be anybody.
No,
all the characters are prequel. It's a prequel, right? So everyone's at a younger age. There's no one should be.
That's true. It makes sense. Okay, no, fair enough.
The characters are around. All the characters are around, but there's no recurring actors.
There's no actual actors. Okay, no, fair enough.
Unless we'll see a cameo, but nothing's been announced.
Nothing's been announced. No. I think they casted this really well. I also really like Ray Liotta. I just think he's cool and everything.
Man.
You know, so
speaking of no sudden move, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
And, I'm on Ray and mobster movies.
There you go. So yeah, I'm hot. I think you're scorching hot, on fire. Yeah,
I think we should end off. We have to end off on that note, man. It can't get better than that.
Nope.
I'm glad we saved till the end. We'll see you guys on Thursday for our Q&A episode. Until next time, catch you guys on the flippity flop.
Peace and love.